Hello.
Hi everyone! Welcome to my channel. So tonight we have some amazing booktube hosts with me to discuss our fantaseries book club pick of last month. And I'm super excited to be talking about this one. I actually just finished it today and I have a lot of thoughts. So do we want to go around and just kind of introduce ourselves and share our general feelings about the book?
Yeah.
Sure thing. So, hello, my name is Jess. I really liked Diviners. I think that I would probably give it like a 4.5 star, or like a strong four, 4.5, something in that range. So it's actually a reread for me. I read the first book, I think back in high school, like when it was in its height of popularity on BookTube, like when the series was just coming out. So it was
Wow.
fun to like get back in because I never like finished the series, but I really loved it. So yeah, not very many complaints from me.
Hey guys, what's up? My name's Christine. One half of the Roomies Digest. I also rated it a 4. Like strong 4, probably more of a 4.5. Like I really enjoyed this book. And this is my first time reading it, but I have read Libba Bray before. And I kind of got burned by her by the other series that I read, which it was, if anybody remembers this, The Great and Terrible Beauty. It was like her trilogy, and it was
Is that the
also a
one with like
historical. Huh?
the girls in corsets on the cover?
Yeah, she has like red
Mhm.
hair. So beautiful. I remember picking that book up and being like, she's hot. Yes. So then I like read through the whole series, but the last book like tore my heart into pieces. And so then I was like, Libba Bray, I can't ever trust you again. It's kind of like how I am with Veronica Roth. And so then I never read another Libba Bray. But now I'm glad because I actually really, really loved this book. I think it's such a great like YA intro, I guess, to a series. So yeah, I'm really excited to kind of continue and see where this is going because I feel like this had a lot of the things that I really enjoy in like YA fantasy. So yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think we all had similar ratings then, because I also rated it a 4.5 stars, and it just hit right for me. And I had also read the trilogy that you were talking about, Christine, but
Hmm.
see, I don't remember anything past like the first book because I only owned the physical copy of the first book. So I just
Hmm.
reread it over and over again as growing up. And so I'm like, wow, what a great series. But I I don't even remember like the end of it. So I was super excited for this.
Like that one's so interesting. Like I would love to read that trilogy now that I'm older because I'm wondering almost like did I not like it because I was young, and like maybe there were some like adult things in there and I was just kind of like, well, that shouldn't be how it goes, but like maybe now in my old age I would like it. So
Not
I'm
your old age.
I know, Jess.
well, yeah. I'm just interested. Maybe we can put that on the list for fantaseries and maybe somebody will vote for it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I just love those covers. Like with the covers of the Great Temple Beauty. Ooh,
Mhm.
They're
they're good.
stunning.
They're stunning. I would own those, even though I hated it.
Honestly, I will say I feel like Libba Bray's books are definitely like on the edge between like what is acceptable for like a YA and like an adult because there were a lot of dark themes and just more graphic scenes in this book that I was really surprised about.
Yeah, I was not
Yeah,
expecting it either.
I definitely think it bordered on new adult almost,
Yeah,
even just with
and
some
I
of
was
like.
reading an article, just like about her and the series, and
Mhm.
she said that she wrote the series because she just wanted to write like a horror type of YA, with a mystery like interwoven into that. And I was like, well, Libba, I think you did it, sweetie. So, but yeah, I definitely got the creeps. Like, I don't know if you guys, well, I know Jess, you read it on audio, but I don't know if you read it on audio, Nicole, but like the audio when she would sing the John song,
No,
like
she
it was
sang.
so creepy. It was so
Yeah.
creepy. But then it also was like so good when she would sing, like, you know how there were the little inserts, of like them just like at the club or like, you know, Memphis with Gabe or whatever, and they had like the little songs and stuff. Like those
Yeah.
inserts were so good too, and I was just like, this narrator needs an Oscar.
Oh
He
my
killed
gosh.
it. Yeah,
Killed
it
it,
was
and it was
great.
just one person.
Do we know if she's doing the rest of the series?
I would assume she probably did, just because
Yeah, I
usually
don't know
when
for
they get
sure.
somebody on for the audio, they usually keep them for the rest. But
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, now I feel like I need to read the rest of them on audiobook because my imagination doing the songs just doesn't compare to that, I'm sure.
yeah, I mean, and I think that is how it always is when there's like a song in a book. If I'm not doing it with audio, I'm like, I don't know the tune of this. Like, I'm not a music person. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do here. But yeah, I think it definitely added in this one. So it's kind of interesting to see like what fantasy books we've read like do have really good audio as well. Because like the Poppy War, I think that audio is really good too. So yeah. Anyway, not to go on audiobooks. Tangent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
look through some-
listened and like read physically at the same time, and it was such like a good experience because
It almost
actually
felt like a movie.
yeah, it did. I actually started it on Friday, like, and I was downloaded the audio because I was like, I need to power through this. But the audio just like sucked me in so well, and I read like 65% of the book like on Friday because I was just so engrossed in it because the audiobook was so good.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow.
Yeah, I definitely could see this as a series, and that's kind of how I got on the Libba Bray interview because I was like, who has the rights to this book? And unfortunately, Paramount like bought them 10 years ago, so they've been sitting on the rights to this for a while. So I'm not sure if now's the time, but I'd be like, I could so see this as like a TV show.
Yeah,
like y'all could do
for
it.
sure.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
That's okay.
Happy you're here.
Yeah, happy you're here anyway.
Yeah, after me hating series, I'm glad I liked this one too.
I think we needed like a YA, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of times I need a YA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
I just need some characters who aren't totally morally corrupt.
Yeah. Or like die in the end.
Yeah.
The last two series were definitely rough.
So rough. Yeah. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, rumor on the street is that this one blows up in the end as well. So.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
And that's why I was a little nervous of starting this because I remember Great and Terrible Beauty. Like I remember that ending. And I don't remember like a lot of books that I hate. Usually I just forget about them and never read them again. But I remember being effing hurt at this one. I was like, oh my God. So now like I'm already in love with half these characters. It's over for me.
Oh no.
They are. I actually started the audiobooks because everybody in the Discord was like, you should be reading the audio. I was like, okay, you've convinced me. I wouldn't read this, it's too big. And then I read the blurb and immediately checked it out.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's me with like any book over 300 pages. I'm like,
yeah, like immediately
long.
No. But maybe, but no. It has to be the right book.
Yeah, that's why I had to check out the audio because it still intimidates me even though I knew I had read it.
Oh yeah.
Like,
They're chunky. They're chunky. January Loveboy is a queen. The audiobook narrator must be.
Look up and see what else she's narrated.
Yeah, she sounds so familiar, and I'm just like, what else have you done? Because I know it's something that I've read.
Now I have to look it up.
I felt very comforted listening to this audio, even though it was talking about like skinning people and all kinds of other crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what else she's narrated for.
Well, she's actually an actress.
Oh!
The ABC daytime drama, One Life to Live. She's a soap actress.
She's a soap. Soap. I love that. That would be the
Oh,
jam.
she narrates like all of James Patterson's books.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. That's a
And
lot.
Nora Roberts.
She is literally fine. You know what I mean? Like,
Nicholas
she's making her
Sparks.
money.
Mary Higgins Clark. She's raking it in, man.
Yeah.
Oh, she did. January the Void played Camilla Dunn and Daisy Jones and the Six.
There you go.
So that's the only thing I've listened to her from.
Oh, wow.
She's got a lot of audiobook credits though.
Yeah, she knew what her calling was. Audiobook narration. The way she sang those songs, I was like, get it, girl.
Yeah.
Get it.
See, I've heard like Daisy Jones and the Six is like the best audiobook to get into because I've never listened to an audiobook before.
Not one?
No, I haven't. So I feel like maybe...
What? I'm sorry. That was so casual.
Yeah, I've only read like physical copies or like my Kindle on my phone. So
that's crazy.
I know.
Literally like, I'm having a moment. What do you mean? I'm gonna send you a list of audiobooks, maybe.
I think it's like a little intimidating because I haven't done it before. I'm like, am I gonna get into it the same way? And I feel like I totally will because I like when people read aloud to me. So it's the same thing.
They're so amazing. Especially the full cast ones. It's basically like watching a movie.
Yeah.
But you can do other things, like fold your clothes. Or whatever.
See, like I think of the text that I would listen to in high school or something, where it would just be this monotonous voice like the whole time, and I feel like it wouldn't be like that at all.
No, maybe you should try it for Layer of Dreams.
Yeah, even try and like just listen to it while you're reading.
Yeah,
that's
a good start.
Like, yeah, a good way to like get into it.
Okay. I'll let you guys know.
Most libraries have them, so you can probably get it from the library too, so you don't have to buy it.
From Libby, right?
Yeah, from Libby or Hoopla, yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's literally like so perfect for driving too. And where you drive, you just put that stuff on. Anyway, we can move on.
Okay, who is everyone's favorite characters? Who wants to
start?
Question
was gonna come up. I knew it was gonna come up.
That is such a hard question.
Yeah, let me think how I want to answer that question. I'm gonna just no wait, what go?
Do we want to just discuss like each character individually and just kind of say like things we liked about the characters, things we didn't like about the characters, and kind of go into that discussion?
I have a feeling Christina's about to share a controversial opinion though, and I want to hear it.
So I was gonna be like, okay, like I liked a lot of them, but the one that I liked that I thought I wasn't gonna like, that everybody in the Discord hates, I really liked Evie, and I'll say it, okay?
I loved Evie.
I was like, is it because I am Evie though? You know, like, am I her? Is that why I like her? So I don't know. Everybody like really hated her, and they were like, she's so annoying, and I was just like, dang.
I thought she was so funny.
She is. Funny.
She's hilarious. She's so witty, and like she always has something to say.
Always. And I honestly was like, is it because the audio is doing her justice?
It might have been that.
Because like I was laughing.
Yeah,
like,
I was too.
The way she comes back at these men, I was like, girl.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, it definitely could have been the audiobook because I wasn't laughing when I was reading it. But I definitely like her like wittiness and just her sass. I think I definitely liked her as a character. I think I see why a lot of people don't like her because she's kind of selfish sometimes. And I mean, we're not going to get into it now, but I feel like towards the end of the book, I was like, ooh, like, you know, friends first.
A teenage girl.
Yeah, she's definitely a teenage girl. But that thing she did at the end, that whoop-de-whoop, I was like, sister.
Yeah.
Sister. Anyway. But yeah. I really liked her, but there obviously were other characters that were good, like from the beginning. Like I loved Theta from the beginning. I was like, wow,
Theta and Henry.
Yeah, Queen, Henry, King.
I hope we get more of them.
Oh, we've got to. I'm like, I was afraid that like some people might be like attacked in this one. And I was like, no, but it's all good.
Theta came close, man.
I know. I was like, oh my
I'm
God.
freaking out.
My anxiety. I was like, not Theta. She's cool. I like her.
I love Memphis too.
Memphis,
Me
yeah.
too.
His character arc is so interesting, I think, because he obviously had, and I guess this is like spoilery, so if you guys haven't read the book, then drop out. But like he obviously had that healing power, right? From like when I guess he like developed it and then stopped once his mom kind of like passed away. And I thought his character was so interesting because he is going through that whole struggle of just kind of trying to find himself again and finding that like confidence to like use his powers again. And I thought it was a really interesting tie-in that his brother too was like developing his powers, and then they were getting kind of like taught by Mrs. Walker, I think is her name. So anyway, I just like thought that whole storyline was so interesting, and I really like Memphis. He's a cutie.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
Him and
so
Theta,
wholesome.
I was like, ah!
I know.
I feel like the book kind of gave me like the same satisfaction that, and this could be controversial, but I really like Six of Crows, like the duology, and so I really like how in Six of Crows, like you really get to know all of the characters and learn their backstories and just kind of what makes them the person that they are. And I really appreciated that for the series. Like you get to really meet like every character individually and see like their past, understand their powers if they have any, and just get attached to all of them in kind of a similar way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there really weren't any like flat or filler characters at all. You're totally right. Like everyone was very fleshed out. And I feel like that's why it's so hard for me to like pick a favorite character, because I really loved all of them. I didn't really dislike any of them.
Yeah, even though they're like different, obviously.
Yeah.
Like even the uncle, like Unc,
Yeah,
Will.
I'm interested in like learning more about him. I feel like he might possibly be a diviner too.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, because the reason why I was thinking of it is so Memphis obviously had powers and then lost them, right? And then the Blind Eye Billy or Blind Eye Willie, whatever his name is, blind
Bill.
whatever. Yeah, Blind Bill. He obviously had some powers. He lost them. And so, like, I'm like, what's to say?
He still has a power. His power is that he can harness other people's powers out of their
like,
head.
I guess, like, his power, like, advanced his life or whatever. Like, he was, like, not doing well.
Yeah.
But, like, my thought was just, what if Will did have the power or, like, whatever he had? And that's kind of what made him, like, estranged from the family, because he was like, I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. So then, whatever, he loses it. And then he becomes obsessed with the occult.
Yeah. He could also be afraid to use his power because like he's so afraid of like letting Evie use her power at first.
Yeah, true.
Too, and like very cautious about that. But he's definitely involved in that weird Project Buffalo thing with Miss Walker and like his fiance. Oh my gosh, there's so many
plot lines.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing why I really like this book, is because you've got like initially you've got the magic system that gets set up with Evie, right, in the first chapter, because she's reading people's pasts from their objects. I don't know whatever. Anyway, so like you get set up with the magic system pretty early, but then you have obviously these other overarching plot lines of like Dirty John or like Bad John, whatever his name is. And then yeah. Project Buffalo, and then just like all these other things, so and then you give me a sprinkle of romance, like any kind of just like longing look. I'm like, I'm living. I love it.
Did you guys predict like the end of the first book, like the couples that would develop? Because for some reason I thought it was going to be like Sam and Evie for a while, because it was like annoying, like relationship, kind of hate to love trope.
I still think that that's a possibility. Like I think it's kind of like a love triangle setup, in my opinion. And even when she kissed Jericho, she was like, oh, he's here right now. I don't necessarily like him.
Yes. And that's like Evie's personality too.
Yeah.
Right? Like she needs like Jericho's very interesting as a character.
Gentle giant. He's
Yeah,
an
he's a
interesting
giant.
actor,
Yeah,
but
he's gentle.
does
He's
he compliment
quiet.
Evie that well?
Right. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know if Evie's like gonna be suited well with that kind of a person. I think Sam is more of her person. And honestly, I like, not to tell all because I've never read this series, so like I don't know if this is a spoiler, but like I could totally see Jericho not making it till the end. And that's just a light prediction, a soft prediction. But yeah, I don't know, because I really thought like him and Mabel were like maybe gonna have a thing because they are both quiet, they're very similar, but he just was not even giving her the time of day.
Yeah, he was like, "Who's that?"
I know, the audacity. He was like, oh yeah, that Mabel, and she was like, that's when Evie really popped off because she was like, yeah, the only Mabel that we've ever talked about, that Mabel, yeah. And I was like, Evie, you are so like, that's how I would say it. I'd be like, what do you mean that Mabel? That's my friend. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think they're gonna be endgame. But like Jericho's cute. Also, I think it's really interesting his whole backstory of him being like a hybrid, like he's like a human machine.
Automaton thing, yeah.
Yeah, he's like Captain America. Yeah. I was like, because the whole time I was like, is he a diviner? Like when we first met him, because they're alluding to it, you know, like he's with Will for a reason, and like, you know, he's like, you don't even know my past, like you don't even understand. And I'm like, maybe he does. You know,
but then, and then afterwards he kept being like, you're different, like I'm different. That was bugging the crap out of me. I was like, stop saying that, Jericho, it's weird.
And also like my different isn't your different, you know what I mean? Like you're like a hybrid thing. I'm like a diviner. So it's like
magic.
It's not the same level.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, he was interesting, but I would be surprised if he lasts until the end.
That's fair.
But I really hope that
will anyone last till the end though?
Oh, don't say that, Jess.
Are we having another Poppy War?
I mean, all I know is that the good ones always die young, you know? So what can I say? What other characters? I will go back to Blind Billy Bob. He was a plot twist, I think, for me, because I mean, like when we first meet him, you know, he's just there like telling the story, and I thought,
a sweet old man.
Yeah, I just thought he was gonna be like one of those dudes that's like, hey, you know, got any money for me? I was a veteran, or like whatever. And then he ends up having like the most interesting plot where he's preying on young Isaiah to get his powers, and then leaves him there, and the little boy's passed out, you know, and I'm like, Bill, you're not a good guy. So I guess he's like one of the villains as the series progresses.
Yeah, I feel like they were giving him kind of like a gray setup though, because he does feel bad about it, and he is like going back, and like there's some like bigger reason why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah,
than like him being a villain, I feel like.
Right.
But, yeah, he said something about like a revenge plan. So do you think it's related to the project that the uncle Will was involved in?
I feel like it probably is. I feel like everything is probably connected in some way. So it'll be interesting to see like how it is connected.
Yeah, because Will is connected to obviously that project. So and I was getting the vibe that like Bill had to use his powers, you know, like he was forced to do it.
Yeah.
And so that would make sense for the revenge plot, for him to like come back and be like, you made me this way, I'm a monster, or like, you know what I mean? He's not a monster, but he is. So we'll see. But yeah, and then Sam's mom. Let's talk about Sam.
Yeah.
Little pickpocket action. I was like, sir, hello? And then he comes, the thing that impressed me is that he stole the artifact in the beginning, came back, returned it, and then got a job. And I was like, no one thought this was suspicious. That
Evie did, but no one listened to her.
I know, and that's why I was on Evie's side. I was like, Evie's smart, y'all. Come on.
She knows what he did.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But, like, he's so, like, their back and forth is so interesting because I truly was like, is it going to be an enemies to lovers? Like, that's also what I thought as well. But Sam's got his own kind of like motivations because the whole time he's there, he's still stealing stuff.
Yeah.
And he's still trying to get to his mom.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to kind of see how that pans out because obviously we don't know what he got in that final letter. So I'm interested in that storyline. And I'm rooting for him and Evie.
I know.
Honestly, same. Their banter is just like next level.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can really
just she's already a smart ass, you know? So like she needs another person like that to be like, no girl.
We need to keep her on her toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jericho's too sweet.
Now, honestly, thinking about it, I feel like the main reason why she's with Jericho at the time is because he's been there physically. And
right.
I think she's like needed someone to help her through like everything that she's going through since she really just started activating all her powers.
Yeah.
But yeah. And we got some comments. Me kind of rooting for Evie to meet her end against the villain.
No.
Her going up against John in the end. Y'all, her being his bride. I was like, this is nasty.
Yeah. Pansy ass Jericho sniffed up the drugs and fell down the chute. Wasn't even there to help her out.
Yeah, I was like, this is shocking. Like you were really no help. And it's funny because Jericho's described to be like a big guy, you know, like a giant or whatever.
Super fit, like yeah.
And I'm like, God, you really just got taken out so quick. What kind of super soldier are you? Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what the heck? Hello. Oh yeah, Rachel was not feeling well. She's unable to make it today, obviously. So
we actually kicked her out of the book club.
Yeah, she's actually just
she was fired.
Drop your rating, Rachel.
Just kidding. Love you, Rachel.
I know she like takes it to heart. She's like, what? Yeah. He's too soft, yeah.
That's a good point.
And I don't know why he's reminding me of the brother, like her brother, but I feel like that's like her brother being a soldier and kind of being like dead. I feel like that's almost
Is
like.
Is he dead though? There's no body. That means he's not dead.
True.
And that pendant matched Naughty John's pendant. That was weird.
Wait, what?
Her pendant that she carried around that she got from James was a twin to Naughty John's pendant because she was able to bind him into it.
Oh, it was a twin?
Yeah, there were two of them, and it was a twin. I'm pretty sure. That was implied at the end. I'm not crazy.
Wait a minute. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I thought they were completely different pendants. I totally missed that.
Wait, now I've got to go back.
Now I feel like I'm being gaslit.
No.
No.
That's probably it. I just don't remember that part.
I thought that there was something like in the last couple chapters about it.
There might be. I'm sure there is. I just missed it. I was listening on audio, so y'all know I wasn't annotating. I was like, oh. But that would make it even more interesting. Because I was wondering about that the whole entire time. Because
maybe they weren't twins, but I thought they were connected in some way. So that made me be like, okay, where the heck is James? And because he was like, oh, you want to see your brother too? Like
he like knew her deep.
Yeah. Well, it was almost like he knew her brother.
Yeah. Like what happened to him?
I think there was some kind of connection there.
Maybe he did. Maybe her brother became a super soldier.
Maybe.
Hello.
I can't even.
Hello. Maybe that's why Will is like in it because he's like, my nephew got into the program and I've got to figure out like what happened to him. Did I just write the book? Anyway. Yeah, but that would be interesting because like with Jericho, right? He goes in and stuff happens to him, and didn't he say that his family like did not take him back?
Yeah. And
so he ends up living with Will. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, if Will knew that his nephew was alive, he probably would take him in. But this is it. Probably is exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? He probably is alive. Probably is alive. And the pendant kind of disintegrating. I was like, okay, what's happening? What's going on?
Okay, maybe they weren't matching, but they both disintegrated when I think maybe that's why I was thinking that.
That they were twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that means that, like, the evil is gone, or, like, did it go into...
I doubt the evil is gone.
Right, like, somebody
Yeah.
else's body?
3 more bits.
Because also Isaiah was, like, saying some crazy stuff at the beginning.
Yeah.
He was, like, saying what Dirty John was, like, what's his name?
Naughty John.
Naughty John. Dirty John. Naughty John. He was, like, saying what Naughty John was saying in the beginning, so I thought Isaiah was gonna be more, like, turned evil, almost.
He seems like he can be manipulated. Like,
Yeah,
he
like,
seems like
he's a conduit or something.
he has one of the like, he has a very suggestible type of trance that he goes into when he's, like, communicating, and I definitely could see him being, like, possessed or
Right,
something
because he can, like, read tarot cards, right? Isn't it tarot? Or no?
Well, he just, like, knows things. It's not necessarily tarot cards.
I wonder if he's, like, a ghost, like, a ghost person. I'm hilarious.
He almost seems like an oracle.
Yeah, like someone who can kind of...
Yeah.
Which would make sense if he could communicate with Naughty John. Like, spirits and stuff. Anyway, there's so much going on. I thought that... I will say that the kind of, like, occult parts of this book, I thought they were done really, really well.
Yeah.
And I really liked kind of, like, the explanations of, like, the pentacle and kind of, like, the upside down pentacle, and how, like, when the 2 points are up, it's, like, the materialistic over the spiritual. And, like, explaining... There's even, like, a part where the detective is like, "Is this some, like, voodoo stuff?" And Will's like, "No, voodoo is actually, like, a religion from these people, and, like, this is not voodoo. Don't say that." And the guy's like, "Sorry, guy, like, I'm just an ignorant POS. Like, I don't know anything." So I really kind of, like, liked that tie-in. And then there was, like, a lot of religious aspects to it, like the 4 Horsemen chapter of the apocalypse.
Yeah, there was a ton of, like, religious fanaticism discussed.
Mhm.
I feel like Libba really just did her research super well.
Yeah, I was
because
impressed.
the story felt so grounded in its time period as well,
Mhm.
which I thought was so interesting, and it never, like, lost the thread of that. Like, I feel like sometimes in books like these, the setting and things is introduced really strongly in the beginning, but then it just, like, peters out throughout the book, but this felt, like, so strong throughout the entire story. Like, the characters all kept, like, the same speech patterns and same things that they were talking about. And I don't know. And yeah, the occult stuff was really cool and super well researched, and I liked how it was, like, woven throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like... Because does this take place in the 1920s?
Yeah, it's like 1925, I think, is what it said.
So I was interested in knowing how she was gonna draw in and tie in, like, all the historical events that were going on, like, around the time, besides, like, the speakeasy culture. And so I really was impressed with how much research she did, and, like, she really, there was, like, Harlem, and, like, they talked about the Chinese Exclusion Act, and I really appreciated that. Like, I felt like it was a lot more realistic of a portrayal of New York City at that time, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't all just
glitz
parties
and glam
all day. Yeah.
Yeah, there was so much, reference to actual historical events. I think that's what really grounded it in the time period too.
Yeah, it's really... I appreciate those parts too.
It was
I like that part about the Chinese Exclusionary Act. I remember that now. I was like, what? I was literally the kid who was like, what? Like, I didn't know that stuff. So
but yeah, I really loved that, and I actually even looked up some, like, words or slang that I was reading in the books, because I was like, what?
Yeah.
And there's, like, cat's meow and all these different words and phrases that I've never heard in today's society. So that
I
was
know.
fun.
For the next one, I think, like, I'm gonna pick one that I just want to start saying all the time, and I'm just gonna say it to you guys and just be like, that's whatever. What would they say? Like, that's jazz, or like, that's whatever. I loved the speech pattern. I was like, this is making it so authentic. Like, I am in the 1920s. and then you flip over and there'd be like a death on the next page.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, cool. I will say, did we ever figure out, so like when we start off, I think they start off on like the 5th sacrifice or something. Like it's like sacrifice 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Did anybody pick up what the first 4 were?
The
Yeah,
first
they
one.
happened like when he was alive.
Okay. Hello.
That's my alarm that I have to leave.
It's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah,
stay.
but they told us that the first 4 happened when like Naughty John was alive as John Hobbs.
Okay, there we go. I was
Yeah.
like, I think I missed that part because I was like, what?
Yeah, the first one was when like the whole like cult, the religious cult sacrificed themselves for Naughty John. And then I think one of them was that random news article, and another one was all the servants in the house. I can't remember the other one though, but
I think I missed it because I was just like on audio. But
it was
yeah.
interesting, yeah.
Oh wow. And that like first, I just remember that first kind of like death that Evie sees, which is the girl, Ruth, I think, or
Oh
Ruta.
yeah.
I was like, girl, don't be going and looking at this. This is not something you want to remember. You know what I'm saying? Her
No.
eyes are literally out of her socket.
Ugh.
That's not it.
Okay,
I
but
don't
just
know.
saying, if I saw a girl like a dead girl, I would not be like, oh, her buckle on her shoe. Like, let me just like attach that again.
And then it wouldn't buckle. I was like, don't sit there and keep doing it. Her foot is
Yeah.
probably bloated.
Well, that's the first thing about a crime scene. You don't touch anything.
Yeah, you don't touch anything. But I guess
Come
this is
on,
the 20s.
Evie.
Like, I guess their stuff is like not,
I guess
or
DNA
was
doesn't
not.
matter in the 20s.
Yeah.
So.
True.
They don't have like a really
Right.
great CSI team. So,
True.
anyway.
Well, I have to go, friends, but bye.
Okay.
Have a safe flight.
I have to leave early, but hopefully I will. Hopefully I get to sleep. So,
Exactly.
Okay, have a good night.
thanks, you too. Bye.
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 And then there were 2. But yeah. I forget what we're talking. Oh yeah, the occult stuff. Yeah. I think it was tied into the plot really, really well. And I will say, like, that is something that Libba Bray is really good at, I think, is plot. Obviously plot and characters. Like, we like the whole entire book.
Yeah.
But it was engaging. And I really liked it.
Same. Honestly, I feel like certain aspects of the cult definitely scared me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they went to, what's it called, like Brethren or something like that?
Yeah.
And they went to the fair and she was called a harlot.
This was like, yeah. I was like not prepared, I guess, for like the horror of Babylon. I was like, oh, we're doing that. Okay. That's why I was like, is this a YA? Or
yeah, it was giving me like the Shining vibes, like straight up.
Yeah, I think the setting did a really great job of being creepy while also staying in like the 1920s. Like it's all like the Ouija board in the beginning, like all that kind of stuff where like now in 2022, like we know not to bring a Ouija board in the house. Okay. We're not gonna invite these spirits in. But like back then it was like a fun party trick to like do or whatever.
Yeah.
So
it felt so realistic, that specific scene too, because like peer pressure is such a real thing, and I could totally see that exact scene happening.
Right.
So it was just such a great way to get into the story.
Yeah, right in the middle of things.
Yeah.
So, and it was a nice introduction, I think, to Evie, and the fact that every time she uses her power, she has a headache.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Mm-hmm. So I'm like, is everybody else like that, or like, is it just her? Why? You know, I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, I don't even remember if any of the other characters had any kind of side effects.
If they did, I don't think they talked about it, because when I was first starting the book, I was annotating and just kind of like putting people's powers and like, you know, whatever notes about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember not putting like a single like symptom, I guess, of their powers, except for the one kid who like never woke up from the coma, Isaiah.
Yeah,
that was like the only thing, but that wasn't really his fault. So yeah, And it's interesting because Will doesn't want her to use her powers. And I'm like, is it because he knows and he has the same power and he like knows how bad it can be? Did her brother have the power? Like, you know, I just have questions.
Okay. First of all, I feel like her brother definitely has powers. Because if technically he's alive still, I feel like he's been going to her dreams, like, to contact her. And also, I don't know if I'm missing something, but it mentions how she receives this pendant from him, like,
Mm-hmm.
after she finds out he dies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of weird too, right?
How
Like,
does she get it again? I forget.
I think it was just like delivered via mail or something.
Yeah, like by carrier. Okay, that's what I thought. But like there wasn't a message, right?
It was something like, oh, like, think of me or something like that. But it was just really convenient, you know what I mean? For
Yeah,
her
that
to
like
get
she would
that.
get it. Yeah, I think I may have glanced over that because she was talking about how she didn't have like a last like chat with her brother. She was like, I wish I had just been able to say something. And honestly, like he could be trying to talk to her, but also maybe she could be kind of manifesting this like talking to him. Because I think in a lot of her dreams, like there's no sound or something. I feel like I remember that. Like he wouldn't talk to her and then all of a sudden he starts talking to her when all this stuff
Yeah.
starts happening. So I don't know, it could be like she can talk to spirits or like I don't know, maybe that's just like trauma from him dying or like I don't know. Or he could be alive.
Yeah, I think that's like an interesting point because it also kind of shows a lot about Evie as a person. And I think that's why I can't really dislike her because even though she's like really out there, I think that she is, a grieving
Yeah.
teenager
Yeah.
who has a lot of unresolved trauma because like, her parents like don't want anything to do with her.
Mhm.
So she's not just lost her brother, but she's also lost her parents like
Right.
emotionally because they literally wish that she was the one to have died.
Yeah.
But
Which
yeah.
I think is also why I like Will because I know he like welcomes her in, but he doesn't really care about her in the beginning. He's just kind of like, all right, you're here. I'm going to class. Whatever. But then obviously by the end, he's more of like a father figure to her. But I do think a lot of her acting out is because her brother died and she doesn't know how to deal with it. And so, like, the only way she can kind of get attention is being the center of attention, doing these party tricks for people or like, going out and looking at the body with Will or whatever. So, this is
Yeah.
also, oh, wait, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, which speaking of which, like, how do you feel about what happened towards the end of like the
The
book?
like,
He was like, "You're going back to Ohio," and she was like, "Wait, before I leave, I'm gonna create havoc."
yeah, I thought that was a very juvenile thing to do.
Yep.
But also, like, if she had went back to Ohio, we wouldn't have a second book, right? So I'm like, Evie, you crazy bee. But she did what she had to do to stay. I don't think she should have been as public with it, but I also don't know how else she would have convinced him to keep her there, I guess.
Yeah. It definitely makes me wonder what he's hiding
Yeah.
because I was thinking about it and like on the name of like the project, what is it called again? Like the
Oh my
project that
God.
he's
It's like
involved in.
Blackfoot or something. Projects.
Yeah. So
I don't have
um
anything written down. I'm sorry.
the other person that was in the project was Sister
Walker?
Yeah, Sister Walker, which is the woman that was helping Isaiah, right?
Yeah. Isaiah and Memphis.
So that was like really interesting because it also makes me wonder like do they all have powers then in that group? Because
The thing is, like, Sister Walker knows about it and she's like training Isaiah, but like, I'm not sure if she has powers. But then the two older women who like lived in the building, I forget their names, we'll just call them the aunties. They were the ones who were like, oh, the diviners are coming back. And I was like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing here in your room? Like, it was such a weird scene. Like, literally, the first scene where you figure out they know stuff, they're like looking out at the water and she's like, "Oh, the moon looks so beautiful on the river." Da 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 da. And then her sister or whatever is like, "I brought you some tea," and she's like, "Yeah." And then they're like, "The diviners are coming back." I'm like, Okay. You two are kooky. Like, what's going on with you two?
Yeah, do you know who they remind me of? Have you seen the movie Coraline?
Yeah.
They remind me of those, like, 2, like, fortune teller,
Yeah.
like, the circus ladies,
Yeah.
um, because they literally, like, killed a cat at the end of
Yeah.
the book, trigger warning, and were, like, prophesizing, like, with his, like, guts, essentially, and I was like, "Oh,
Exactly.
okay, we're doing this, I guess."
And that's another thing. I'm like, if the diviners like are all getting their powers, or like all the powers are kind of like manifesting, I'm like, is it because they have to like defeat like a greater power, or is it like a witch cult thing? Not witch cult, sorry, a coven thing where like they all have to have the powers for all of them to work? Because like that would be interesting to
Ooh.
me if maybe like these women were part of some kind of coven or something, but then something happened and they all lost their powers. Like that is an interesting point of view. Which would then be cool later on in the series because they'd have to kind of lean on each other to make things work. Project Buffalo is the
Oh,
name.
yeah.
Buffalo.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't even know what I said. Billy Bob.
It's okay, I didn't remember either, and I
I
finished
was
it
like,
today, so
Project Buffalo. I'm like, Buffalo, New York?
yeah, but I would say that would definitely be something I could see happening in the series, especially with the way that, the cults have been introduced throughout the series.
Hmm.
I could definitely see, like, a coven atmosphere playing out, and I feel like that's gonna, like, come out a lot more in the next couple of books, especially because
Hmm.
we don't even all know they have powers. Like,
Right.
it's only Theta and
Henry?
Memphis
Or
and
Memphis? Okay.
then, like,
Theta,
Evie.
Memphis, Evie, and then Sam, because Sam has like that power where he can tell people not to look at him,
Right.
and they don't. So, and Isaiah, I guess.
And then I guess well, and then Henry, like, he has the ability to, like, walk through dreams.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Henry, too. I'm like, they all found each other, so there has to be a reason they're all there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if we're going based on, good writing, and obviously it is good writing, everything happens for a reason. So, like, every little breadcrumb, like, all these little things that we're seeing, like, they'll come full circle. And I think also another thing to kind of realize is that symbols and things like that are important in this series. So, like, the pentacle, like the five-pointed star, I think that is going to be important, like whether it's for a coven or for, whatever. And I think the snake, kind of like the snake that eats its tail, like that's going to be very important later on because it's basically saying like what starts will always like end, like, things will always come back to the beginning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what that means,
Exciting.
but like if I had my history book and like I knew what these people had gone through, maybe I could tell y'all, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm just so interested, like, why do people hate the fourth book? So something crazy has to happen.
Yeah, now I'm scared because
Mm.
I completely forgot about the last book of the Great and Terrible, that
Beauty?
series,
Yeah. You
Gemma.
probably blocked it out. You're probably like, that wasn't the last book. The last book
Yeah,
was
I
the second.
definitely blocked it out.
Yeah. It was crazy. I was like, oh my God. I really want to reread. So
Okay, if you reread it, let me know because
yeah.
I'd like to remember it this time.
Like, here's a summary.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Um, is there anything else we haven't touched up on?
I'm trying to think. Like, I feel like we got most of the plot and all the important things. I mean, all the love triangles and things like that. I think it was really funny that Jericho and Evie were gonna go to the cult as like husband and wife, and then Sam was like, "No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go too. Like I'm going
Yeah.
with you." And I was like, "Sam, your time will come, sir."
Yeah,
Leave
he
it
was like
alone.
so jealous.
Yeah, like I think it's definitely like Sam and Evie because even from his POV, he was like the first time he met her, he was like, "I could have just stayed invisible the whole time, but there was something about her. It made me want to kiss her." And I was like,
Yeah.
"You're so stupid." but do it. So, yeah. Lair of Dreams, if I had to guess, like, obviously we're gonna be having something to do with Henry, possibly, like, Dream World, maybe Evie, you know. Hopefully Henry gets his happily ever after with some cute boy. I don't know.
Which, speaking of which, did you notice how, like, throughout the whole, like, book, he was searching for this guy that he would meet in his dreams, and
Mhm.
after, like, the beginning of the book, he wasn't seeing him anymore, so I wonder if something happened to him.
Who was that guy?
I
That's my
think
question.
his name was, like, Adrian or something like that? Okay, I could totally
Right.
be this.
No, I think you're right. I'm like, who is that? Who is that guy?
Because I feel like was it Evie who was dreaming and like met other people in the dream? Like, I think she ran into Henry when she was dreaming one time, and he was like, "You're not supposed to be here." But she was like seeing all these other people. Like, she was seeing like this like Chinese girl, the one that was working at the Chinese restaurant that
Yeah.
she visited,
Yes.
and she was aware. So I think she definitely has powers also. But
Maybe
I
they can
wonder if,
all.
because Henry sees this guy and is into this guy, if he also has powers, since it seems that only diviners are really able to enter this dream realm.
Maybe. Lair of Dreams, that has to be it. I think you cracked the code. Like,
Watch
they go
us
into
like watch this after like we read
I know.
it. Very off.
Like, the plot points that we said were correct were all of them. And here's why. Yeah, I mean, Lair of Dreams, that's all I can guess. Because I think the chapters do a really good job of telling you exactly what's gonna happen in the chapter, you know? So, like, obviously the book is gonna be named after what happens. But yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
would
love the
be
chapters.
yeah. I was like, "Number what?" We're going off page numbers, baby. Um, but yeah, I think we've kind of talked like this whole time about what we think would happen in the next book. I think I'll probably still like it. I'm hoping we get maybe like one or two more characters that I can kind of gush over, and that way, if someone dies, I can have other characters to focus on. But yeah, I'm interested in Will's story. I want to see what's going on with him. What do
Yeah, I
you
wonder
hide?
if we're gonna get to know more about like the parents, so like the parents slash like
Mhm.
older people, because there's a lot of unanswered questions, like with Sam, and also like casually Memphis's mom, like what's going on with her trying to
Yeah,
send him like all these very very vague messages
yeah,
that don't really like make any sense.
something.
Yeah,
Something's going on. We just haven't gotten there yet.
yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it's just as horror like filled, I guess, or like gory. I don't know how to describe that, but because I did feel like this one was obviously super graphic as far as like the dead people and stuff.
Yeah, like the part like describing like all the different parts that are missing.
Yeah,
It's
like
definitely something that
the hands, the feet, the skin. I was like, please, we don't have to know about this.
the mouth, I didn't even want to picture
Yeah.
that one.
Mm. Mm-mm. Anyway, and also, I think the one person we haven't talked about was Naughty
Naughty
John's
John.
girlfriends. Naughty John's girlfriends.
Oh
What was her
yeah,
name?
Mary.
Yeah, the way she got played in the end, I was like, you waited all this time and you thought you were going to be the bride. I hate to break it to you, girl. You're not. Anyway.
Yeah, it was kind of like I was like karma, but at the same
Yeah.
time it was like
But
damn that
also, like,
sucked.
you know, was she just manipulated by this dude? Like,
I'm sure she was like
yeah,
100%.
I felt bad for her. I felt bad. She was a bad guy, but, you know, really it was just Naughty John being a psycho.
Which that surprised me, I guess, like how all of that, like the flashbacks with the ring, that was
Mhm.
so that was so eerie to see
Yeah.
everyone like dousing themselves in kerosene.
I'm telling you, the audiobook, I was like, what am I listening to?
So it's like one person who's like narrating the whole thing. So there's
Yeah.
not like multiple voices, right?
Yeah. But she like makes the voices. It's pretty good. And she sings like Naughty John's song and it's
Oh,
so creepy.
speaking of which.
Yeah. Does his work with his apron on. That's how she would sing it. Naughty John, does his work with his apron on. I'd be like going on a run and I'm like listening to this and I'm just like, oh my God.
Time to run.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm out in the open. Like, I can't read this at night. So that's the thing. Going back to the deal with Memphis's tutor and Unk, I mean, I think that they know each other, and I don't think their relationship is super clear from what I remember. Like, I think they know each other. I think it's because of Project Buffalo. It would make sense to me if like they both had powers and maybe lost them or something. But at this point, like I don't think we're gonna find out until later on in the series. But correct me if anybody in the chat knows more, please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that sounds right. Yeah, I'm very interested in that.
Yeah.
How all
Because
these
my thought
characters-
was like, how is Sister Walker, that's her name, right? Sister Walker, isn't she like a nun or something? Anyway, how is she training them, when she's not a diviner, right?
it just feels weird because do you remember how when we were reading it, it said that she specifically came to the city to find Memphis?
Yeah.
So I think she has some kind of bigger purpose.
And I'm like, I don't know. I swear, if in the fourth book, if they all end up being a sacrifice for something like Libba Bray, we're gonna have words.
We can rewrite so everyone has like a happy ending.
I swear.
I know it's cheesy, but I like that. I like it when everyone I like survives.
And that's why Libba Bray is dangerous, okay? Because you think you're reading a YA and you think that you're safe, and then all of a sudden, hits the fan. I'll never forget A Great and Terrible Beauty. Anyway,
Oh, no.
So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I think the answer to this is we don't quite know. They're related somehow, as in like their work relations. It's Project Buffalo, something to do with diviners. Because why else would Will like be in charge of this occult museum? Like he's clearly looking for something. Like he's trying to find something. And you can see that when in the beginning of the book, Evie's in his office or like in the library or something. And Sam comes in and Sam's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, these are just like papers that Will has. These are just like little quotes from like magazines and like newspapers. And like these are just like little notes that he has everywhere." And like I know that kind of was like a flippant sort of I guess sentence or like a moment. But to me, I was like, what are like he's taking notes on all these things. Like he likes to know information. He likes to know history. And he's like saying, like, we don't want history to repeat itself. Like we want to make sure we know what we're doing when we go forward, like that's to me, that's why he like mentioned the whole Chinese exclusionary act, right? Because he's like, if you don't learn your history will repeat itself. So like obviously in that he's talking about American history, but then I think also it's kind of foreshadowing to like the diviners because something happened before, we just don't know what it is because we're kind of with like this new generation.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my long tangent of what I think Will's all about.
No, I appreciate that. I could definitely see that. It definitely seems like he's hiding a lot.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's again tied into Project Buffalo, but I'm really excited to continue and I'm probably going to order the book tonight. So
Express it to me, baby. Bring it on. So I think with this next one, I am going to try and annotate and do it on audio so that I'll have more like physical notes and I won't have to just like be going off what I remember. But yeah, I think a lot happened in this book. So hopefully a lot happens in the next one too.
Yeah. I'm really excited that we were able to really get into everything. I don't really think I have anything else left to say.
Yeah, we deep dove.
Maybe we just skip the
Skip
last
the
book
last-
and pretend it doesn't exist.
At this point, I'm curious. Like, when you just want to read something to know why it's bad or like why people hate it. Like that's where we're at. We're gonna end the year on a really good note or a really bad note. We'll see.
We should both buy Kleenex just in case.
Oh yeah, like I'll be crying. The way these fantasy books have me in a chokehold, I'm like, what's wrong with me? Anyway, but yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. 4.5, baby.
4.5. Woo!
Have fun. Hopefully it doesn't like just continuously go down because that would be depressing.
Yeah, I feel like series can go like one of two ways. Like for the Jade Legacy, what was it? Green Bones Saga. Like it
Mhm.
just kept going up for me. Like I
Yeah.
love this book more. So I hope that's what happens. I hope that everyone's wrong and that we finish the last book and we're obsessed with it.
Honestly, I could see that happening because a lot of people were like talking about how Cruel Prince was not good, and like our whole group was like,
But we loved it though.
yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, Jayla said Layer of Dreams was super good. Okay.
Oh, that's exciting. I'm so excited.
Actually, I think she said Henry is one of her favorite characters. I'm having like a memory right now. I hope I'm not making that up. I
I
wonder
can
if
see that.
he might be like a big part of the next book. So that makes sense. Yeah, she was like, because Henry's not even really in the first one, but he's one of the best characters.
I'm excited because I don't think we've really gotten his backstory at all, have we? Like, we just hear about how Theta like meets him and how he's just this kind soul from the get-go without knowing anything about her.
Oh yeah, that was we didn't even talk about Theta's ex or like any of that drama. Wow.
Oh yeah.
I blocked that out. I'm sorry. Really quick. Theta's whole backstory and the fact that like Henry sells his piano to like help her go and have like a safe like abortion. That's no wonder she's like, that's my brother. I'm like, I'd be his sister too. Like Henry. So he deserves like all the happiness, all the success, like everything that baby wants. Wow, I forgot all about that. And then she's trying to like pay him back like the whole time.
They have a little fund for the piano.
Yeah.
That's so wholesome.
Like that's literally so sweet. And they're just two artists like struggling in 1920s New York, you know. Theta almost dies one time. Like it's just really crazy. So I know I said that we really like Theta and like she's the boss and blah blah blah, but I think the reason why I really love her is this one scene where she comes into the theater for the first time and you see her walk in, she's late. She sticks her cigarette in the director's coffee and she's just like, yeah, I'm here. And one of the side chorus girls is like, what, you think you can just walk in here and just like be Theta? And Theta's like, yeah, because I can do this whole number in my sleep, girl. So, and then she proceeds to like kill it and like do the whole thing. That's like the epitome of Theta's character. And I think after kind of knowing her backstory and kind of where she was, it just kind of made her stronger and made her like a no BS type character. She's like, I don't have time to waste, you know? Like I'm gonna live my life and live it how I want to. And I think that's one of the reasons why I really liked her. Like that and the fact that she's like an artist. And then she has her sweet little love story with Memphis.
Yeah. I think that Theta is probably one of my favorite characters. She's just so like full of life and her backstory just really contributes to who she is. And that part was really sad to hear about. I had questions after Evie had the vision, so I was really happy that they went into like an actual like elaborate backstory about it. It's so crazy to see that transformation. Like she truly reinvented herself and like decided that she was just gonna like new start.
Yeah. Like I'm just gonna live my life how I want to.
Agreed.
She's the baddest babe. Love her, yeah. Yeah, her, and then I think actually the only other character we didn't talk about was Mabel. And that's because I kind of forgot about her, I'm not gonna lie. I thought Mabel was so sweet in the beginning. Like, she's so sweet. She doesn't want to cut her hair, you know. She has her parents that are like politicians and they're like doing their political rallies, not politicians. They're doing their political rallies for the greater good. And then she kind of has that upset with Evie about Jericho, right? And then they don't talk and I don't know. I thought that was definitely like of their age group. Like that's definitely something that would happen with like teenagers.
Yeah.
That like, you know, you get mad at your best friend and that does sting, you know, like you have a crush on somebody and they don't like you, they like your best friend, like that is never gonna be fun. So I think I'm hoping her character has a nice arc in this series where instead of her going left, where like she ends up being a bad guy, because like I swear if she has a villain arc, I'm not gonna be happy.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that she kind of has an arc where she becomes more almost like not I don't want to say visible because it's not like she's invisible, but like more there, like she lives more, you know? Like when she goes to the barber, she goes and like gets her hair cut. That kind of a girl, you know, if she wants to do it. Or if she just I guess wants to stay the same, like stay the same, but like be okay with it, you know? Like don't let I guess the peer pressure kind of push you around. Because I get it, like Theta and Evie, having them around, like they're
They're
very
really
strong
strong
personalities.
characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like obviously, like, you know, to have all three of them be strong personalities, that would be a lot. But I do hope she kind of comes into her own in the next book. Um, and maybe she has like a nice little love story arc. Maybe she finally does get with Jericho in the end. That would be a plot twist. Hello. Um, you know, yeah, that's really all I can say. Not maybe a cat saying already crying, thinking about the series. This reread is
Oh
gonna
no.
hurt. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of the things I really liked about the audio because the way she talks to Mabel in the beginning, she's just like, what do they say? Friendskies? They're like friendskies? And then they like pinky promise. And I was like, no, not y'all breaking up in the end. Y'all are friendskies forever. Anyway.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there could be some like internal friend conflicts after. I don't think that the romance between Evie and Jericho
Jericho. Let me
is over
rustling through my
quite yet.
papers.
But so I feel like Mabel's gonna find out probably not in the best way. And I feel like that's gonna create a little bit of conflict and maybe resentment towards that friend group for a little.
Yeah.
But I hope that they're like strong and they all figure things out.
Right. Well, yeah, because I don't think Mabel has powers, right?
We don't know that
That
yet.
we know of. Yeah. I was
It
like,
could happen.
that we know of. So it would really kind of stink if she didn't. So hopefully she kind of comes into her own. Maybe she has a really cool power. Maybe she does become the villain. Like, wouldn't that be something?
It'd be interesting for sure. But yeah. We're not gonna think about that.
I know. I'm like, I swear, if it's little tiny Mabel that takes them all out in the end, I'm done. It's always the sleeper agents. Yeah, she really does not give two rats about anything.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, why should she? She went through so much. I'd be the same way. I'm like, nope. The villain arc. You know, I love a villain arc, though. I really do.
This is
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
I think
I
Arthur is helping her with that. The guy that attends her parents' stuff, the one who saved her. I feel
mhm.
like he's kind of making her feel more seen. I think that even though Mabel and Evie and Theta have like a really solid friendship, I think maybe Mabel feels a little invisible sometimes just because her
Yeah,
friends do shine so bright that even though she's not like dull or anything like that, it's just hard to feel seen.
compete. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be something if she finds out that they're diviners and she gets even more hurt because of that. She's like, there's even more of a divide
Yeah.
for that. You bet ski. She performs these lines so well in the audio. Like, y'all gotta read it. If you didn't do it on audio, that's my one recommendation.
You're really selling it,
Read it
Christine.
on
Truly.
audio. I was like, there are only a couple of series that I like on audio, and this is one of them. This is one of them. Ice Planets being the other one, of course. Love to see Mabel become the villain. Yeah. I mean, it could happen. Anything could happen.
Yeah, I mean, like, at this point, we don't even know for sure if Evie's brother is really dead, so
Right.
anything's
Plot
possible.
twist, Evie's brother is the uncle. Just kidding. More like the dividers, yeah.
I can't, Rachel.
Yes. This whole movie, this whole book was so visually like there. Like I keep saying it, but it was like I could picture everything happening. I forgot about the arrest too. Wow, I really need to take notes. Yeah, them being in jail and the uncle being like, "You're going home." Like I'm done.
Yeah.
It
I
was,
feel like Libba Bray's like just has such a great way of writing. It's flowery, but not like in the kind of way where it just feels dense.
right, like you're bored.
Yeah, like she really brings it to life,
Mhm.
but she's so descriptive with everything, which I loved. I loved all the party scenes. Like it was so fun to see the themes and the curtains and the walls and
Yeah, it's like basically if you wanted to read Great Gatsby, but like have a fun time, you know? Yeah, the Theta accent, killing it. Killing it.
honestly, me too. I'm
Yeah.
also gonna check out the audiobooks now.
Yeah, if you can, definitely get it. Like I had some Audible credits, so I just like splurged and was like, I'm just gonna get them on Audible. but yeah. What if The Great Gatsby was actually good? I like Gatsby, but that's y'all know that story is sad. This is the whole thing with classics, right? Most classics are pretty sad. So I like Gatsby, but I have to be in the mood to read it.
I get that.
Yeah. And like basically do a character analysis every time I read it. So there's that.
Oh, so we all had that in English.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, I just get my notes out from back then.
Throwback.
I've never read it, LOL. I would love for you to read it, Rachel, so you can tell me your take on the green light. That would be because there's controversy. Controversy? Hershey bar? Controversy. There is some controversial thoughts about that green light. Anyway.
I would be interested to knowing that too, actually.
Right?
Because
yeah, I feel like she would have because there's literally two types of people. There's like the people who think it's real and the people who think it's not. So it'd be interesting to see what Rachel would say about that. But that's a vlog for another day.
Do we have anything else we want to add?
I'm trying to think if there, because I obviously every time I'm like, oh yeah, we're done. I feel like I think of something else happen, but I truly do think that might be everything. If you guys are in the chat and you can think of anything else that you want to talk about, let us know. In this comfy, cozy, talk that Nicole and I are having together.
Truly, with our bookshelves.
Yeah, like we're just chilling. The day I redo this back here, like y'all are gonna be like, "Who is she? Who is she?"
I like it though.
Yeah, like not to get like home improvement channel on you guys, but like I am thinking about putting up green wallpaper and like redoing like this whole like I'm gonna do like a long bookcase right here, like bookshelf right here, and basically do like a whole different setup for the bed and everything. I'm like,
that'll be really fun.
Mm-hmm. Which is like it's a nice contrast because this wall is like white and black basically.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Well, yay.
That's my thoughts. But it takes only 1 gram of anything to intrigue me, so I'll do it.
Say less, Rachel.
Yeah. Yes, this is like one of the things that everybody talks about in like English class, like when you read The Great Gatsby, it's probably the biggest argued point in that whole book. It's like, what is the green light and what does it mean? So usually glass fits. You know, that green screen nitty look with that wallpaper. Yeah. I could. Exactly. Oh, how many of y'all knew from the get-go? Y'all were like, don't bring the Ouija board in. I knew it. I was like, we're already not doing well. Like,
Wait, was it her Ouija board?
Yeah. Remember the first party scene? It was like literally the party that she was at, and she was like, what can I do to make the party more spicy? And she brought the Ouija board out.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. What the heck?
And she thought like the one guy that was doing it, she thought he was like playing tricks on her. And I was like, sweetie, no.
Wait,
if there's one thing y'all learn from this live, take the Ouija board, set it on fire, and don't bring it in the house. Okay? Don't bring it in the house. And that's on facts.
Wait, okay, I need to go back now and look through because I completely missed that. Because like it opens up and it's like the girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's like in the first 2 chapters.
Yeah, but I didn't even realize it was her.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was like, Evie, you don't mess with the spirits, okay? Just let them be. Let them be. They start messing with you, move. Get out the house. Can't stay there no more. Or get a cat that can see the spirits, and then you know where not to go. Anyway, my personal thoughts. Yeah, the audio was so creepy. Like with the song and everything. I was like, oh my God, what am I reading?
Oh my gosh.
It's fine. It was great though. It was really great. It's gonna be nice to read the third one. I was thinking about this today in October when like, you know, all the craziness is happening because the third one's technically like the last one that people like. So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. The answer is no one. No one. Messing with the board, but wasn't sure if it was Evie. Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy.
A full circle moment because, you know, Evie just invites chaos.
True.
Apparently.
Okay, well, this was a lot of fun, like talking about the first book in the series, and I'm literally about to click the buy button as soon as we get off of this because I really am invested in these characters now, and I just need to know what happens.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I have like the Bookish box special editions that have like the character pictures on the inside. Do you want to see what Lair of Dreams is?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to say really quick, I'm not endorsing Bookish box because they really have done a lot of people dirty, and these books took like half a year to get to me, so I'm not going to be buying from them again. But these are stunning copies, so I will show y'all. Oh my goodness, just the drama that happened. I was like, y'all are psycho. But yeah, so this is Lair of Dreams. She's stunning.
Wow.
Right? And then it's got like these pieces
That's so
on.
pretty.
It's got the little stars, and then the characters on the inside. I'm like, who are y'all? You know?
I love that.
Like, who are y'all? Like, what would have made this perfect is if you had the character names like down
Yeah.
here. So then I could know. Like,
it's okay, you can write them in when we find out.
Right, like who are you? And then they have these ones on the back, which I'm pretty sure this is Memphis and Theta.
Oh my gosh. I'm obsessed. I love it.
Yeah,
you know
really
who
cute.
the girl is in like the front I can't speak. The front half of the book.
Do I know who it is?
I think it's the girl from the Chinese restaurant.
I think you're correct. Because she definitely looks like she may be Chinese, and she has these crutches.
Does she have green eyes?
I cannot tell.
Okay.
I can't tell. I mean, they look black to me, but maybe that's a typo. Maybe that's a typo. But yeah. And then the
Oh my
back just
gosh.
has like this little quote: "Beautiful dreamer, wake unto me. Starlight and dewdrops are waiting for thee."
I love that so much.
Oh, and it's got the little eye with the sun.
Oh my gosh.
That,
I'm
like,
so
really
excited. I'm excited for you to read it.
it's gonna be a fun time. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited. So I did think it was interesting them having like the evil eye throughout as a symbol. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for joining. That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely write them in. Because like this is my copy now, so
Genuinely one of the prettiest book editions I've ever seen.
yeah,
Like,
the first one I really like because it has a lot of the like main characters as well. It's got like Evie, Sam, I think Will and Jericho. And so in this one, obviously it has Memphis, Theta, the Chinese girl who I can't remember her name right now.
I don't think we learned her name.
Yeah, I'm like, also
But
that's fine. You know, we'll figure it out. So it is very pretty. I know on one of them, someone is like crying in one of them. I think it's the third book. So
oh, have you taken a sneak peek already at
I did.
the
Yeah, I didn't know who they were, but like as I'm remembering them now, I'm like, I know somebody's definitely crying. So I think I gave myself a spoiler, but it's fine. I'm not going to
Oh,
tell
I'm
you guys.
interested. Okay, wait. Every live show when we're talking about it, I want to see like the next book because I feel
Okay.
like the editions are just stunning.
You want me to show you the diviners really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you. It's right here on my little cart. Okay. So the first one is low-key my favorite because I love
Oh,
purple.
it's
It's like
so pretty.
obviously we've got the Ouija with the eye and then the sun. And then the sides are like the same. They kind of have like that same pattern. And then they've got a quote on the back that has the naughty John, which, you know, if I had my book over here, I would have stopped saying dirty John. I would have said naughty John. Does his work with his apron on. All right. And then you've got Evie and Sam.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, they're stunning. Evie in her purple, like she really, a little drink in her hands, like she's just queen of the castle. And then Will and Jericho are on the back. Which when I first looked this up, I was like, who are these old men? Like, what's going on? But I get it
Wait,
now.
why does Uncle Will kind of look a little foxy though?
He does. Okay, and then I told somebody, I was like, I like Will. Like, I think he's cute. And they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, sorry, I have a picture of him.
Yeah, have you seen the photo?
Yeah, like and the thing is he's wearing a thumb ring. Like literally, you are so cool. Like, who do you think you are, dude? You're young. You're
Styling.
funny. I'm dead. Anyway. So yeah. He's fly. Well, hopefully he's not evil, because then that makes sense why I like him. Anyway. So yeah. That's it.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for coming to our live show. I had a lot of fun talking with everyone, and it's going to be really interesting to see how many of our predictions actually come true for the next book.
It's always like a gamble. I'm like, what will it be? I think I'm gonna write mine down, and then at the end of the live show, we'll see how many actually came true.
Yeah. I'd be interested in hearing that too.
So we'll see. But yeah. I think we are going to be opening up the channels for the second book tonight. So if they're not already open on Discord, we will open them up for you guys so you guys can obviously start reading. And we'll be having the live show middle of next month again for the second book on Nicole's channel. Again.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Okay, well, thank you guys everyone for attending, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.